taking you quickly through how last week played out in global markets, as well as how this week has started off, especially in Asia. The Dow closed nearly a flat line on Friday after a jobs report miss. So the September jobs report for the United States was out on Friday, and the jobs report added around 194,000 new jobs for the month of September. However, the Dow had forecasted that number to be around 500,000. So a huge gap there, almost a 60% lower number coming in. And this could have a possible implication or impact on the taper which the Federal Reserve is planning. Mind you, the $120 billion a month bond buying program of the Federal Reserve will see a possible taper by end of this year, and that may get delayed, as well as of course an impact also on the subsequent interest rate increase. So all US indices ended the week in the red. However, all three US indices, benchmark indices, were in the green on a weekly basis. So the Dow was down around 3 basis points but has gained around 2/3% across the week. The S&P 500 was down around 20 basis points, 1/5%, and was up around 4/5% for the week. Now mind you, S&P 500 has been in the green in 2 out of the last 5 weeks, including the last week. And the Nasdaq was down around 0.5% in trade on Friday, was up around 9 basis points on a weekly basis. The Dow futures is up, or rather down, around 0.25% in early trade today. Moving on to how Europe closed on Friday. European markets also had an extremely volatile week throughout last week, and the DAX was down around 1/3% on Friday. The FTSE 100 was the only major index in Europe which was up around 1/4%. The CAC 40 was down 3/5%, and the Stock 600 was down around 1/4% in trade on Friday. Moving on to how Asia was looking on Friday, the Nikkei was up around 1.35% on Friday. The Shanghai was up around 2/3%. The Hang Seng 2 rose above 0.5% to end the week. The ASX 200 was up around 0.9% in trade. The Kospi was the only major foreign index which was down around 10 basis points on Friday. Moving on to how commodities is looking. Mind you, the commodity rally has played out quite well over the last month or so. The London Metal Index was up around 1.5% on Friday, and was up over 3.5% on a weekly basis. Oil, though, early today morning has topped the US $80 a barrel mark. Now that's an important shift. It's the first time since 2014 that the oil prices have topped US $80. So that's a big move there by oil. Oil is now at around 80.14 US dollars a barrel as we speak. Brent is well above 83 US dollars a barrel. Gold remains fixed in the 1750s, is at around 1756 US dollars an ounce. And then moving on to how the dollar index looked. The dollar index was down around 16 basis points on Friday. It has started the week absolutely flat. In fact, up 1 basis point in early trade today as we speak. The US 10-year Treasury, though, is another piece of the puzzle which is in focus. It's above the 1.6% mark, in fact at 1.612% as we speak. And this is despite the poor US numbers in terms of jobs for the month of September. So despite taper with a possible push to the taper timeline, despite a possible push with regard to increase in interest rates, the US 10-year Treasury yields continue to go up. Very fascinating. Let's see how that plays out over the rest of this week. Bitcoin is up around 1% in early trade. and is above the US dollars 55,000 mark. That's a roundup to start this week off.